welcome back to another episode of Small Town Big Biz. Today we have Meghann with Triple Peaks Hemp. I got through it.
Look at you, girl.
I know.
You did it.
I was like, I'm going to say like Triple Pinks blah blah. Like it wasn't going to work. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'd love to hear, and the listeners would love to hear more about you and your business. How'd you get started? What's it all about? Just spill all the beans.
Okay. So I'm Meghann Roberts-Clawson. My husband, Josh Clawson, and I own Triple Peaks Hemp. We started this in 2017. My family has owned a farm over in the Warrensville area for over a century. Started as a dairy farm and then kind of transitioned into cattle and tobacco. And so when that kind of fizzled out, funny story, but my grandmother and I were actually cooking Thanksgiving. It was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Was Virginia Ruth getting high?
Honey, no, Virginia Ruth was not. God rest her soul, she would not. But no, we were actually cooking Thanksgiving, and the phone rang. And, I mean, if you knew Virginia Ruth, she would talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And so she just keeps going on and on and on with this person on the phone. I thought, who is she talking to? Like, this is ridiculous. And I heard her say, well, no, I'm not interested in expanding. You might want to call my nephew.
Okay.
And so I thought, what is she talking about? And I knew Josh wanted to buy land, wanted to be a part of the farm, whatever. So I go running out with my mixing bowl, and I'm trying to get her attention. Long story
With your
short,
mixing bowl?
Yes, I took my mixing bowl. Wasn't going to leave it. So we, kind of go back and forth. And long story short, a couple months later, we wound up buying a section of land that connected to the family farm.
Oh, cool.
So it was the whole we're expanding Rich Hill Farms thing,
That
so
is
we were all
awesome.
about it. So Josh originally was planning to just grow Christmas trees. We're in Ashe County. That's what you do.
That's what you do here. That is just what you do.
That's what you do.
You're handed a tree seed at birth.
Exactly.
It's
your christening. But so that was the plan of what we were going to do. Don't even know how it happened. He should be here to answer this. But somehow or another, we had ordered some tree seedlings. Somebody's supplier got messed up, and we didn't get the number that we expected.
Oh, okay.
So we have extra land just sitting there. And in Josh Clawson's world, you can't sit still.
No.
You can't do
That
nothing.
is Jonathan as well.
So somehow or another, we start researching. He's, figured out everything he needs to do, how he goes about it. And so we wind up with hemp plants.
That is so fun.
Did not expect to do this at all.
Right.
Didn't have a clue what we were getting into.
I love it, though. It's like, we just wound
We
up
just
with
did.
them.
Honestly, we just ran with it.
Yeah.
We're like, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's honestly how this whole thing has gone. It's just been a leap of faith, one time after another.
Yeah. So what made you decide to do products versus wholesale to somebody else?
Okay, so there was a big statewide initiative that made hemp legal. I believe it was 2014.
Yeah.
Josh Clawson, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Josh.
I think it was 2014. But made it legal in North Carolina.
Okay.
So there was a huge pilot program that came out. Lots of people decided to grow all at the same time, which
kind of like Christmas trees.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you know how supply and demand goes. Then we wind up kind of flooding the market.
Yeah.
And I'm the crafty side of this. He's more the business side and the farming side that I know nothing about.
Right.
Clearly.
Clearly.
If you don't know that yet, you're going to know that by the end. But I couldn't just sit on it. He was like, we'll have this processed, and we're just going to do smokable flour and oils.
Okay.
No, we're not going to just do that. Because I'm too into beauty products and skincare and all these other different things.
Yeah.
And I start looking into kind of creative ways that we can do something with it.
Right. Well, I have to say your skin looks impeccable.
Girl, listen. I can't. I'll tell you my secrets off air.
Okay.
There's some new things coming.
Okay.
No, but that is one thing that is a huge benefit.
Right.
That, I think when people hear, oh gosh, you're growing hemp.
Yeah.
Y'all are a bunch of granolas.
Yeah.
And, this is weird.
Fun fact, this building we're sitting in, there was a hemp processing place here before I rented it. And they had been right where we're sitting, okay? Actually, right back there. They had been like processing in this section. Mm-hmm. They ruined the floor, which is why there's carpet over here versus whatever's over there. And the whole ceiling up there was molded because they had like been processing it and like letting it just go. And so, yeah, that was fun. So this building, was kind of in the same business.
It absolutely was. We have been in here a time or two.
Yeah, well, it looks a lot better now, doesn't it?
It does. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
It was a little rough when I got in here. I was like, okay, I think they weren't just processing hemp. I think we were actually smoking some things.
Well, they may have been.
Yeah.
We don't do that at Triple Peaks.
Right.
But other people.
Okay, good. So funny story. When we bought our land, so we bought 30 acres to build our house on. And same thing, wanted to farm. Jonathan does animal farming more so than crop farming, although he is really good at the crop side. So I'm always like, do both. Do it all. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, I literally work a full-time job. I can't. And he's a preacher. So it's like, when? Well, the funny part, right. The funny part is our neighbor knew somebody, like, before we moved in. She knew somebody we knew. Mm-hmm. And they told her that we were buying this land. And she said, well, that's good as long as they don't put Christmas trees on it. Well, I'm a type 8 on the Enneagram, and you don't tell me what not to do. And all I wanted to do was go plant Christmas trees, because I have no desire to do it. Yeah, but like it's my land. I can do what I want. Yeah. Well, then I was like, you know what? Actually, let's just plant it full of hemp. And Jonathan was like, I feel like there's like a stigma that me as a preacher, people would be like, no. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think it's the coolest business model. I really do. I think like because it's legal, it's like how we grew up with our grandparents were doing like tobacco, So I think it's so cool that y'all are doing that. So both you and Josh have full-time jobs, right?
Yes.
Outside of this.
It is a never-ending side hustle, if you will.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah.
No, not complaining at all. But,
yeah.
But no, so I'm an elementary school counselor.
Mm-hmm.
My husband is a state park ranger.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we're like setting up at the farmer's market and people come through and they're, now listen, am I going to get arrested for this? Is this legal? I'm like, honey, do you know you're talking to the law? Like,
right.
It's fine.
Right.
And I work with the babies.
Right. Like, we're not selling you weird things.
I promise you, this is all licensed and legal and tested a million times over. I promise you, you're fine. And if anybody can have it, and it might not be okay, it would probably be us.
Right.
It's fine.
Right. So do you have plans, like, for this to grow bigger than a side hustle?
I would love for this to grow bigger than a side hustle.
Yeah.
And I will be completely honest with you. Like I said, this has been one leap of faith after another. I never envisioned this being where it is now.
Okay. Awesome.
This was just hey, let's try this one time and see what happens. Mm-hmm. And now we're, how many years in?
Yeah. Several.
Yeah,
I don't know. You said 17 or 18?
17.
Yeah. So
18 was the first year that we grew. 17 was the year that we, kind of started the farm itself.
Right.
But so, 4 years in, I would have never expected that we would be still doing this.
Right.
And it would have grown as big as it has.
Yeah, that is awesome. So what is your, not necessarily marketing, but, how do you sell right now? What is your main form of selling?
Okay. We go to the Ashe County Farmers Market, which starts up this weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's a crazy busy week.
Yeah.
We do that all through...
How long is it open? I forget.
It is open normally until it's supposed to be, I think, the first weekend in April. But because of COVID, we're starting a little later.
Oh, it's later. Gotcha.
So it's the first weekend in May, and then it will run through the end of October, and then we do 3 different holiday markets around the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay. I don't stay super up to date with the farm, which I have no reason to. I'm not a vendor in the farmer's market.
Right.
So, yeah, okay, interesting. Okay, what else? Yeah. Where else do you sell?
So we sell there. We have a couple of different wholesale accounts around in the area. Mm-hmm. We also have booths at Martha May's Emporium. We have a new one at People's Drug.
I'm loving all these People's Drug mercantile.
Listen, honey,
booths.
You have got to get down there.
I need to. I have not been in.
I need to go shop myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I just go to fill a booth and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
So cool. We also have another booth in Wilkesboro at Hometown Collaborative.
Okay. That is cool.
Then, of course, we have our website that, anybody could access. But, just for local people.
So you found, like, right now, it's mostly local. And if they're not buying from one of the booths, they're, like, messaging you on Facebook and being like, this is what I need, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you have the ability for them to purchase on the website.
Yes.
And you could ship it.
Yes.
So we need to get you more of that.
We even
right?
Yes. No, we have an option on there too where we have like a local pickup.
Oh, cool.
People don't have to pay shipping if they go through the website if you're local. But we do have the ability to ship anywhere.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I know like the struggle you put on the little application was like, how do we branch out of Ashe County or like our area, right? And I think that's a struggle that everybody feels. Like anybody who's anybody in a small town, especially, like how do you go outside of it? And especially us, we're so secluded.
Yes.
We're so secluded. It's so funny. Anytime I tell people I'm from a small town, people are like, yeah, me too. No, I'm like, no, honey. It takes me an hour and a half to go to Target.
Yeah.
3 hours to an airport. Like we're like
Boone
small.
is not a small town.
No, Boone is not a small town. No. It's like, what, quadruple the people we have?
That's like the reference point we give you so you know where we're from.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be really hard to like expand outside of our area. I totally get that. One, I would tell you to get the local people using the website. That's going to help a ton just because like then they know how to tell other people. So if they've got like a cousin in Mississippi, their instinct is not to be like, oh, let me tell them to message you on Facebook. Because they don't know that you could ship it to them because they're just picking it up from you,
right.
So one, I would get the local people shifted towards using the website because that's going to help them when they do the word of mouth, like tell people like, oh, well, I order on her website and there's a shipping option, so I know she'd ship from you. So that's one way I would do it. And the way you do that is just shut down the other pathway. Like you're just like, nope, we don't take orders on Facebook Messenger anymore. Here's how you do this.
Run through here, just
yeah.
Just, if nothing else, so stuff is streamlined.
That's what I would do.
It's chaotic having full-time and
yes,
all of this other stuff.
Yes, I would come up with like a canned message that's like, hey, thanks so much. I know we've been taking orders through Facebook Messenger, but we don't want to lose your order. We don't want anything to happen. And in order to make sure that happens, can you do this through the website? Because then it's very professional. They're like, okay, sure, yeah. Like that's not going to offend anybody. That kind of thing. So I would first do that.
Okay.
I would really, because I really think once you get local people, like I say, who have like Aunt Sally in Minnesota, who they're like, man, I love this stuff I bought. Aunt Sally would love it, but like that's not their natural instinct because they don't know that you ship because they're picking it up locally,
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
So whatever word of mouth you've built now, you can like use that to like go outside the area. But the biggest thing is going to be social media. Yes. So so tell me who your like most ideal customer would be. Like, I know that's a hard one, but also I need you to pick somebody. And if you're like, I don't know, then when we get off this podcast recording, I want like homework. I'm going to give you homework.
Okay.
Which is fine. But like, here's the thing. When we sell to everybody, we sell to nobody. Like, so if you're like, oh, it's just for everybody, like everybody could use this like oil I have, or everybody could use this chapstick, or like whatever, right? They can, but you have to think about like who is attracted to your packaging. Like who is that kind of targeted to? Do you sell mostly skincare? So is it mostly women, right? So like who is that? And it's okay to not know right now. It is totally fine not to not know right now.
It kind of depends on the product, though. Right. That's why I'm thinking that.
Yeah. Okay, so what would you think would be like a couple of them, at least? Like women? Yeah.
Women for sure. Uh-huh. Ironically, there's a lot of, I don't want to say older, but like our parents' age.
Yeah.
Which I didn't anticipate, but obviously CBD is great for sleep and for pain. And, our parents' age and, people that I was thinking would be completely turned off by
Same,
this.
Yeah, that actually
are the ones that are like,
bit,
oh my gosh, I can't live without it.
Right.
Like every time I come through town, my mom's like, excuse me, I need you to refill this bottle.
I love it. I love it. So let's say that it's anybody from like millennial. Well, really, I mean, I guess Gen Z would be. But you have younger people buying it from you too. Yeah. So let's just say for the purposes of this conversation that it's really anybody from like 18 to 60. Okay. So excluding that like much older group, because I feel like you're not going to get them ordering anything on the internet. Right. You know, like you even on Facebook, they're not going to like order something, and they still think it's like snake oil and crazy things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that being said, you have the opportunity to market. Here's the real situation. Facebook does not have the younger people on it.
Right.
If you notice, we're like the youngest people on Facebook, which is saying something because we're like 35. You know? You haven't had a birthday yet, have you?
No.
You're 34.
I'm 34.
I am 35. Fun fact, Meghann and Josh and I and my husband all went to high school together. We graduated together.
Just left out that minor detail.
I know. We all, you know, graduated together. It's fine. But like 30 and above is kind of Facebook's age range. Then Instagram is like it's like 16 to, I'd say like that 45, 50 mark. So you have a bit wider of a range with Instagram, and with your products being kind of like visual products, you could really excel on both platforms, okay? But I would tell you, like, leave Facebook for your local audience. Let Facebook kind of serve the local people. And then use Instagram to grow outside of Ashe County. And here's why. It's really easy to grow on Instagram right now. And I'll explain that in a second.
I was going to say, honey,
yeah,
tell me.
I'll explain that in a
more.
second. It's like super, super easy right now. And Facebook is not easy. Facebook is, I won't say it's dying. It's definitely not. It's never going to die. But the like strategies are just harder anymore, you know? And Instagram used to be really hard to grow on, but in the last like 8 or 9 months, it's gotten easier. And for your market and for your product, I think you could blow up on Instagram. Okay. So I would say Facebook, just keep doing what you're doing and like let it be the local people. Don't let them order through there. Make them go through the website. I love how I'm like getting text messages. Sorry. But then go in with Instagram and go full force there. And what you really want to do is you want to focus on hashtags and hashtags that are not just local. Like you really want people all over the world. And we can talk more about hashtag strategy later, just because on another episode I dove kind of deep into hashtag strategy. So I don't want to like say the same thing again, but you and I can talk about it later.
I got you.
But the biggest thing right now is Reels. So like TikToks on Instagram. But think of the possibilities with your product. Okay.
My cousin has been saying, you have to get a TikTok. You have to get a TikTok.
I don't think you need to. Well, you could probably use TikTok. But
she's 22. She knows about TikTok.
Right. And I do think
I just know how to deal with it at school.
Right. You know how to deal with like the bad side of TikTok.
Exactly.
Yes. And I think TikTok is great, and I think you could do really well there, but the audience is harder to take somewhere else. So like TikTokers stay on TikTok. So it's harder for you to say, like, I got 1,000 followers on TikTok and I converted them to sales. Is going to be harder than on Instagram. Because Instagram, they're kind of used to going somewhere else. TikTokers just stay on TikTok. Like, that's pretty well. They just scroll, you know? They may like it. They may follow you.
I don't know how to use it.
Yes. Well, Instagram Reels are basically the same thing, but they're on Instagram. And they're more so used in a strategic way. I feel like TikTok, people just throw crap up on TikTok. Not that there aren't strategic people, but most people are like, funny cat video, whatever, you know. Well, with Instagram, there's so many things you can do that, for your products especially, could go viral. I mean, it's easy to go viral right now. I've had reels that are 6 seconds long where I literally do a voiceover that says stop that have gotten 400,000 views. 400,000. And that netted me a ton of new followers, which then nets me a ton of new sales, right?
Right.
So with your product, so for instance, just to give you an example and like slow it down a little bit. So I did a reel yesterday to that new Dua Lipa song that's like, what the frick are the words? But it's whatever, and then it's like, you want me, baby, I want you, boo, whatever that is. Well, a bunch of people are doing TikToks to this, and that I want you baby is whatever they sell. And then I want you boo is like their customer being like, yes, of course I want you. So yesterday I did this, and my I want you boo was passive income. Okay? And then and it did really well. Your I want you boo could have been a product with like a mouth on it, being like, I want you boo, you know? And they're super easy to put together. I have never spent more than 15 minutes on a reel.
Really?
And most of the time it's way less than that. Like most of the time it's like the 20 seconds it takes to record it, and we're done.
Because I feel like I kill myself, like, writing, like, all of this stuff.
Yes, I get it.
And
I totally.
I don't know, like, when I see a big, long post, I'm not necessarily going to read that. I feel like my people need, like, background info.
Yeah.
So that's why I do that.
Yeah, and I think you can keep doing that on like Facebook or any Instagram posts or things like that. But Reels, you don't even need a caption. Like it's the visual part of a reel. And Reels, so Instagram is pushing Reels right now. Therefore, they want you to use them. Therefore, if you use them, they're going to show them. So that's kind of why I say it's easy to grow right now. Okay. But that's why. Like it's not easy to grow if you're just doing posts. Like it's just not. So you want to focus on Reels. But if you will double down, like I would say do 3 reels a week, which sounds like a lot, but I swear it's not. Like I can do 3 reels in like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So do like 3 reels a week. That's hard to say. 3 reels a week. Do like 3 reels a week. And then figure out your hashtag strategy and you'll be golden. Like golden. Like people will come to you and they will understand what you do because your reels will tell them. Yeah? Listen.
You might just be a magician.
I know. And here's the thing. A lot of people can know the strategy. Like, I can sit here and tell it to you all day long. But if you don't do it, it's a whole nother thing. Or if you do it for a week or 2 weeks and then you give up, that's also a whole nother thing.
Right.
And that's where you'll stand out. Like, there are thousands and thousands of people trying to sell products similar to yours, right? Like, there's a lot of, like, CBD hemp products. But where you're going to stand out is when you're consistently showing up in front of the people who want it. So if you can make reels on Instagram, because that's your target market. You got like 18 to 50-year-old people on Instagram, you know? And really in our age group is where the sweet spot is on Instagram. So, I mean, that's your target people, you know? So if you can really do that and get consistent with it, I can promise you, like I could promise you that you will be like, Jessica, I just got 6 sales on the internet. How did that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm not a big fan of like making it complicated. Of course, you could have a strategy on Facebook that would get you outside of Ashe County. You could have a strategy on Instagram to bank onto that. But you work a friggin' full-time job, and so does Josh.
I was going to say, like, when I tell you, you work, you know, I leave my house at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
I don't get home till dinner time. You are cooking while you're, like, typing this book that's going to Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you're making stuff to get ready for the market. Like, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
We need to simplify this.
Exactly. And I'm a big fan of simplification. Like, I always tell people, you don't need to be on all the social medias. Sure, start a Facebook page if you want to. Start this if you want to. That's fine. But you don't need to be actively pursuing these social media platforms, you know? Because if you are, then you're running yourself to, like, jagged? That is not the word. Ragged. Jagged. All over the place.
Listen, I'm probably jagged by this point. It's fine.
Jagged Little Pill. Alanis Morissette. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yes. We're old. I'm old. I won't include you in that statement, but I feel like I'm old sometimes. I was jamming out in my minivan to Nelly in the car line yesterday, and I was like, yes. Also, the fact that I have a minivan has really started bothering me lately. I'm like, my personality does not fit a minivan.
No, it
doesn't. I need, like, a fancy car. I just don't know what. Because I want something big. So like a Tahoe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting there. Like, I'm sorry, this van is just not going to fit in with my life much longer. It's amazing if you ever have kids. A van is the best thing ever if they're babies. But mine are a little older. I can get a cooler mom car. You know?
They're bigger. They're more self-sufficient.
Yes. Yes. They're still going to shove French fries down in the seat. No matter what car I have. I'll just get it detailed. It's
Josh
fine.
Clawson does it now.
Right. They don't ever grow up.
No.
Ever. Even
love you.
Love you, Josh. But Jonathan's the same way. He'll be like throwing food with the kids in the car. And I'm like, what are you doing? You know? But yeah, so I don't believe in overcomplication. Like, focus on one thing. Let your Facebook keep doing what it's doing. Like, you already have a strategy you've been using to get local people, and just let it do its thing. And when people outside of the local area find you, they'll find your Facebook page. I think that's fine. But on Instagram, you can grow really fast right now. And I think that's where you'll see the power. So even if in 6 months, Instagram is like, never mind, we don't like Reels anymore, and now it's hard to grow on Instagram again, you've spent 6 months growing like crazy, and it won't matter.
Right.
You know? But the keys to Instagram are, one, going to be doing Reels, managing your hashtag strategy. Again, we'll talk about that. Being really diligent about that. But being active on Instagram stories. So are you a consumer on Instagram? Like, do you watch people's stuff or look at people's stuff?
I mean, occasionally. I mean, I look at Instagram a lot.
Right.
I like to put lots of things in my cart.
Yeah, same.
If that's what you mean, then yes.
That was me again. I have my...
Well, my watch went off at the same time. So I was like,
I need to mute my computer. So, like, if you're on somebody's profile and this little their face, and it has the bubble around it up here, this thing, if you click that, that's their stories, like Snapchat. So, like, they're 15-second clips, whatever. You be really active there. That's behind the scenes. When you're making something, when you're making stuff for the farmer's market, be doing clips of it on your Instagram stories. Because here's how the process goes. You may do a reel that gets 200,000 views. You may do a reel that gets 10,000 views, 5,000. Like, that's a lot of views for, a small account. Well, they'll come there, but then, like, you don't want them to stop. You don't want them to just follow and then, like, not go further. So what's going to cause them to go further is that they feel like they know you. To know you, they're going to have to see your face, hear your voice, that kind of thing on stories. And then you're going to be the person they think of when they're like, I need this other thing, or I saw this product from them, or I'd love to, like, work on my skincare and, like, switch it out for natural ingredients. And, like, you're going to be the person they think of, but you won't be unless you're in their face a lot. Like, I am never not active on stories. My stories are every day. That doesn't mean you couldn't, like, record a bunch ahead of time and just post them every day either, But just being active and staying, like, on, like, in front of people is what's really, really important. So then that's where you're like, hey, we have this new product, or, I'm adding this to the shop. Like, here's the link is in our bio, or whatever. And you'll eventually start to see followers come in, and then followers go by. And that's kind of how that works. So you got to get them there with Reels, and then send them to the website with stories. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
I don't know that I understand the difference between a story and a reel.
So that is a really, really good question, and it's one that most people have. So you have multiple facets on Instagram, okay? Let me just tell you all of them. You don't need half of them, okay? There's stories. There's posts, which are just a standard photo or video that's in your feed. There's Reels, which is a TikTok-like thing. Stories are like Snapchat. A lot of things are like other things. Instagram has stolen things from other places and just, like, put them in their software. So
I was going to look at it.
yeah. So stories are the bubble at the top. They're what you see when you first log into Instagram, and they're at the top. Everybody's are up there. Yeah. So those are your stories. They expire after 24 hours. Then you've got the post. Then you've got Reels, again, like TikToks. Then you also have IGTVs, which I would liken to, like, YouTube. So longer form content, but it's vertical because it's on Instagram, and YouTube is this way, horizontal.
Whatever that is.
So, and then the other thing you have is, like, Instagram Live. So, like, if you wanted to go live on Instagram, you have that option too.
So just like when you would go live on Facebook.
Yes, yeah, okay. Just like that. So you have all of those facets. You really just need to worry about Reels, maybe a post here or there, and your stories.
So I'm killing myself on posts.
Yeah.
We need to, like, put our energy into other things.
Yes, posts are not working. You could kill yourself. You could put 15 posts a week out and completely rock the hashtag strategy and make awesome content, and Instagram would still be like, I don't care, you're not doing Reels. Like, that's just where we're at right now, And that could change in 6 months. That could change. Like, social media changes so freaking fast.
True.
It really does. But so really the difference is stories disappear in 24 hours. They're really a behind the scenes kind of situation. They're really where you're just like, I'm doing this. So like if I picked up my phone and I wanted to like do a story of you and me here, you know, like blah, 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 that would be a story. But it's going to expire in 24 hours. It'll be gone. Not really going to attract anybody. That's more to like nurture your followers. That's to give them, that's to make them want to show up to the Meghann and Josh show every day.
Honey, it is a show
I know.
to be seen.
See, if anybody would have like good luck showing their real lives on Instagram, I feel like you and Josh could rock that, you know? I really do.
I honestly would kind of be nervous for people to really see it.
But that's a good thing.
Because it's a trip.
Trust me. And here's the thing. A lot of people will get all in their heads and be like, oh, it all has to be business. No. That's not the point. It literally needs to be the Meghann and Josh show. Like, if it's business, great. If it's like Josh fell asleep drunk on the couch at 9 a.m., great. You know what I mean? I love that I use Josh as an example.
Josh is drunk at 9 a.m. Hey, listen. It's fine. I'm sure crazier things have happened.
I'm sure they have. Absolutely. If you're going out with your friends one night, like that is part of your brand. You are the brand. Even though the brand is Triple Peaks Hemp, I have to say that slow. Even though that's the brand, you are still the brand. And we're in a different age where used to you could be like Yeti and like that's it. But Yeti now has to have stories and people need to see behind the scene or they're not going to buy from it. They also need to see other people using Yeti. And so that's just the world we live in now. Like you can't be a brand anymore without a face behind it or in front of it, I guess. Whichever one. So you really have to make stories like the Meghann and Josh show. Like it's just 24/7 access, And again, obviously, like, do what you feel comfortable with, right? But the fact that I live on a farm literally has nothing to do with my business. But I show it. I'm stopping my timer because if I don't, it's going to go off in the middle of our podcast. If I show my farm on my business Instagram account, it doesn't have anything to do with my followers, right?
Yeah.
But they love to see it. And it's fun. And then I'm the girl that comes to their head when they're like, oh, that girl that does the thing and she has cows. It has nothing to do with my business. But, like, that's how they associate. Mm-hmm. So you've got to create those, like, connection points. I always tell people to leave breadcrumbs for your audience to be like, I like her. I like her. I like her. And eventually they'll fill up their basket and be like, I want to buy from her. Because that's really what it comes down to. That's why you can have success locally so easily because people know you, they like you, they trust you. That's already there. So you have to build that up in another arena, Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen as fast. It's not going to be like instantly you're on Instagram and people are buying from you. You're going to have to like put the content out, do the Meghann and Josh show, and then they will,
I mean, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, well, we don't know anybody that lives in,
Yep.
say Buncombe County. I mean,
yeah.
I do, but
Yeah.
just some random place. Like,
mm-hmm.
how are we going to grow there? And it's really like, if I'm getting everything
mm-hmm.
you're saying, it's not necessarily about like, oh, we need to go and like make relationships like one at a time in these places.
No.
We need to just like explode it.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
make people fall madly in love with me.
Exactly. That's literally what that's your job. That's your goal. Like, please love me. Thank you. Goodbye. Like that's you're totally right. Like, obviously if you want to be in a store somewhere, go build the relationship, right? And you could do that on social media. It's just a matter of like finding them and DMing them and like creating a relationship. You can totally do that.
Hard.
It is hard. It is, and it's harder for local businesses, I think, because they don't answer their freaking messages. Like, my entire business is ran on Instagram. You DM me, I'm going to answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, I'll DM businesses on Instagram, and they'll just, like, look at them. Like, it's like, that's what I feel like, is they're just like, hello, I'm not answering you. Goodbye,
Yeah.
But, yeah, by putting out content, see, what happens is Instagram is going to show people content that they think they will like. So your reel, if you use the right hashtags and you create a reel that people enjoy, it could be seen by somebody in Alaska. It could be seen by some 14 people in California. You may never have a local person see a reel. It's really about like creating the content that's going to cause people to want to come into your atmosphere. The whole goal is to like get people in the atmosphere. And locally, that's like they already know you, they like you, they trust you. You put a booth up in People's, and people are like, "Oh, I totally know who that is. That's Meghann and Josh." You know,
It's like there's a face to go
Yes.
with things. They maybe they have experiences, or they
Yes.
know you.
Yes. And that's
outside of that,
exactly what you want to create on social media for people who don't. Because they don't have those experiences. They have never, like, been in a room with you. They have never, went to school with you. They have never, like, all of these things. They've never worked with you, all of this stuff,
Yeah.
So by showing your real life and then creating reels that pull them in, they have. Then they have. They're like, "Oh, I totally love her. Oh, my gosh." And I will tell you that, like, the biggest thing, and it held me back for a really long time, was my accent. Like I sound dumb. Like, people, like, we were taught that, like, not to be so drawn with our accent because we didn't sound as smart.
Right.
I had a broadcasting class one time at App, and the guy walked in to, 25 kids who were all from somewhere in North Carolina and was like, "If you want to be successful doing anything with your voice, you can't have an accent." Yeah, screw you, buddy.
Look at me now.
Look at me now, boy. I don't even know who it was. I wish I did. I'd like send him stuff. I'm like, "Here." But we were taught that, like, that is a hindrance for us. What I have found is it's literally exactly the opposite. People love it. And so, because it's not normal for them, it's normal for us. We hear accents every day, and, like, weird ones half the time, So, like, nobody sounds different to us.
Right.
But, like, we sound very different to other people. And when they hear it, they're like, "Oh, I love that. I love her accent. Like, I love that. Why did she do that? Like, oh, my gosh,"
Yeah.
So use those types of things to, like, draw people to you, I have also found that I can be, like, sassy and straightforward, and my accent makes people think I'm sweet, I'm like, "I was a little sassy there." And they're like, "No, it was very nice." I'm like, "Okay."
Glad it came off that way.
So it's really about creating a social presence to get people in. But you don't need to kill yourself. Reels and stories.
Reels and stories.
That's it. Literally, don't worry about anything else. Mic drop?
Honestly, I think it is. Like, I wish I could, like, set you a timer.
Yeah.
And, like, let you see the amount of time I spend daily.
I believe it. A lot of people do. Everybody does. They spend time on things they shouldn't be working on because they don't know what they should be working on. And you're not in it. Like, why would you know reels are working until somebody tells you that? That's not something, it's like.
Because I have no clue.
Yeah.
I told you, like, I'm not the business-minded one. I know enough about social media just to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a crafty one.
Yeah. And after we stop recording, I'll show you, like, my reels and show you what I mean.
Yeah.
But, I mean, reels and stories. If you will just be like, you know what, you can, like, set a challenge for yourself. Like, that's what I do. It's like, for the next 30 days, I'm posting 3 a week or, like, whatever.
Yeah.
I did 28 days because I did February because it was a short month. And I was like, I'm cheating a little. I did 28 days of a reel every single day just to see how it grew my account, just to see how everything worked.
Yeah.
Worked great, So you can, and it wasn't that hard. It's not like it was hard, So you can set yourself a goal, like maybe for the next 2 months, you're going to focus, like, super hard on hashtags, on the reels, and doing stories.
Listen, I'm not a numbers person, but I love data.
Oh, same.
And I will be all into that.
Yes, same.
Like, just watching things.
And you can watch, I would highly recommend to, like, screenshot your story views because you can see how many people watch your stories, and you can also see how many people watch your reels, which may be nothing at first, right? Like, and that's fine. But, like, screenshot those numbers and watch them grow. It's going to be really cool. Like, we posted the first reel on so I have my account on Instagram, which has a decent amount of followers. And then, like, that's where I mostly do everything. But I have a Hey Jessica brand account.
Yeah.
That's just, we post memes and, like, fun stuff. Well, it's been, like, I create reels for my account. So it's the same audience, but, like, we're not cross-posting them. So Laura's like, we're going to develop a strategy around this. We posted our first reel today. Never posted a reel on that account. It has 3,600 followers. That reel has 2,000 views. You don't ever get 2,000 views on a post. Literally never.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So they are where it's at. And if you'll jump in now, it's kind of like how you look at things and you're like, oh, I wish I would have gotten in that early. This is your chance to get in that early. Like this is it.
Well, then we just have to post a reel before I leave.
Okay, good. We will. I can
You
totally
can be my
help.
first reel.
Yes, I can totally help you do that. Okay, so does that feel like a good plan? Like
Yeah,
moving
no,
forward?
absolutely.
Yeah, and then it just all continues to build on itself.
Like anything that is like working smarter and not harder
Yes.
is awesome.
Yes, I believe in that. Like, I do not want you to be like, I'm going to be on Facebook 40 times a day and do this and do that. And like, sure, there's 1,000 other things you could do to grow. There are. But both work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
This is basically a full-time job. You don't have time to be doing 40 other things.
No, I do not.
So if you'll focus on that,
Yeah.
you'll be good. And then once you get a handle on that, maybe you can move on to something else. Yeah?
Listen, I'm gonna nail this real thing.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Okay, so Meghann, if somebody wants to know more about Triple Peaks Hemp, I swear, I've got to like really separate those words before they come out right. How do they do that? And actually, let's send them to your Instagram.
Oh, yes. Everybody go check out the Triple Peaks Hemp Instagram because there's going to be lots of amazing reels. But no, it's just Triple Peaks Hemp.
Yep. Yeah.
Very, very easy.
Yeah. And you can find your website and everything.
Yeah, I was going to say everything is linked there. Just triplepeakshemp.com.
Perfect.
So.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming on here.
I'm so excited. This
I
is
am
such a
too.
huge help.
Yay. Bye.
See ya.